Welcome back, my fellow adventuring people. Today we're going to be going over what we learned from the romance update, the Larian Gazette, and taking a look at the updated BG3 website. Sven, of course, gave us another nice little skit, but the real meat comes from the lead writer, Sarah Bayless, and the cinematic director, Jason Latino. For the romance update, as always, we will be going over the technical stuff first, then observations, and then minor speculations. Sarah really wanted us to understand that these companions aren't just sitting around waiting for us to pick them up. They're going to feel like unique individuals with their own goals and desires. A big thing for us meeting these characters is going to be that we have nothing in common outside of the current situation we find ourselves in, and would normally never be in a group together. The question to be had here is, will our one common goal for survival be enough to keep everyone together?
Sharp tongue, elf. Would that your mind proved its equal. Half elf.
Think about the companions in the old games for a quick moment. Some companions had time-sensitive quests and would tell you off and leave the party if you never got around to helping them. Or perhaps you had someone speak up against you because you decided to go murder hobo on everyone in a city. Even if you didn't always realize it, the old games had it, and the new games will have much more of it. Reactions. Our companions will be observing everything we say and do, forming their own opinions and judgments about us. If we do something that benefits one person but not the other, or we do something someone doesn't like, our companions aren't going to just ignore these things. Eventually, our companions, Shadowheart, Gale, Will, Lae'zel, Asterion, everyone will eventually speak up in our camp about the actions we've been taking. Moreover, they will be speaking out against each other as well. Conflict between these characters in general will be common, and depending on how we handle things, we could very well lose a companion permanently. It looks like it's going to be up to us to keep everyone together. But not everything will be all drama and conflict though. The camp will also be our place to connect and grow with these characters, and potentially woo one another.
I want you to know that I like what I see. In short, I've grown to trust you.
Races, classes, backgrounds, game rules, etc. Jason Latino went over with us just how much they look at in an effort to make things feel real to the players. The example explained to us was that they will sometimes adapt a set of dialogue into full cutscenes, having the characters' actions becoming very detailed. Where are they looking? What are they wondering they should say next? How long do they stare at their wine glass thinking? Even just being nervous and fumbling over their words. They are putting in tons of effort to make these scenes feel real to us. And for further reiteration, our choices for our custom characters will be honored. This is a D&D game, and the most important character will be us. Custom characters will not be missing out on anything and will have plenty to discover about ourselves. Regardless of what we picked for our custom character, there will be appropriate scenes for action, romance, and steamy love scenes.
It's like, no, you're a halfling hero. There's no problem that's too big for you. Nope, don't do that.
All right, let's take a look at what tasty visuals we got this time. And yes, we got a little peek at the steamy love scenes and even some specific illustrations. But what made me excited was all the armors they showed off. They all just look really wonderful and pretty accurate now that you think about it. I know we all love our bulky armors and colorful robes that we get to see in other games, but it's nice to have stuff that feels normal and looks good. We also got a peek at a UI update for the character creation screen. It really has come a long way from what we first saw all those many months ago, and man does it look good. A number of quick dialogue scenes came up throughout the community update, some benign but some not. Although quick, I think it's nice to call them out. It looks like Lae'zel's first objective is to find a creche and beseech her people for help. But if I remember correctly from a previous update, don't remember which one, this isn't going to go well for her. We finally got an in-game look at Will. I don't know about you, but I don't think I've seen him in any pre-alpha footage outside of the back weapons animation. He seems pretty pessimistic about our tadpole situation. And as Sarah so aptly pointed out, our mage Gale is an introvert. We got a quick insight into part of his personality with what he likes. He even has a cat. I hope we get to meet his cat. Lae'zel even tells us about where she comes from briefly. From the beginning, I had a feeling Lae'zel's tough exterior was a facade. I'm starting to think I might be right. So remember, it will be possible for the companions to make a move on us first. Romantic interest, that is. Now, as for speculations, I've only got one this time around.
For example, you have someone like Gale who needs to consume magical artifacts in order to survive. He's got this... I don't think I'm supposed to say that. Never mind, that's a spoiler.
I cannot believe she just said that. Okay, first off the bat, I'm just going to say my personal knowledge of the realms isn't expansive enough to get a close guess on this one. One idea that popped into my head that seemed interesting is, what if he's actually an artificial human? We've already been trickled the idea that he's been through hell in his past. Many of us probably hoping literally, due to things being connected to descent into Avernus, but what if it wasn't that literal? Okay, let me back up for a moment. Across fiction, we typically see artificial humans as being born to serve a specific purpose, possibly grown quickly, and aging or dying off quickly due to some biological defect or some other plot device. What if this was Gale's past? And all these years later, seemingly alive and well with his freedom, he struggles to sustain his own life. So, TLDR, what if Gale is an artificial human and he needs to consume magical energies to keep himself from falling apart? That's just my initial idea though. Let me know what y'all think about Sarah's little spoiler in the comments below. As far as the Larian Gazette goes, it mostly went over everything that was discussed in the community update video, but we did get a few extra information pieces from it. Character reactions and opinions will still happen in multiplayer. Origin characters in multiplayer will not be usable on day one, but when they are available in multiplayer, the system will technically allow you to have intimate moments with your friends as well. On paper, the Gazette gives us a better description of their intentions. Quote, "The point is, no matter which race or gender you are, or which class you are, the levels of intimacy party members share will be defined by extremely in-depth, lifelike evaluation of everything you've been through up to together." I think they kind of worded that portion a little weird. Lifelike evaluation of everything you've been up to together. We've tried to create an authentic, reactive relationship system where characters act and react like people, for better or for worse. Also, the new game has officially been rated mature by ESRB. To no one's surprise, I think this is needed. Despite the different locations to obtain the game, so long as you are on the same game version, you can play cross-platform with anyone. A physical collector's edition is something they're looking into, but it won't be out anytime soon. My personal guess is that we'll see something like a collector's edition closer to version 1.0 roughly a year from now. Of course, we are also reminded that once you buy early access, you do not have to rebuy version 1.0. We will have the option to toggle between feet and meters in the game settings. All recruited companions will be available and interchangeable in our camp despite who we take in our actual party. So think something similar to the system we had off in the Dragon Age games, except that for Baldurs Gate 3, once we clear Act 1, we will have to commit to who we keep with us. There will be no bag of holding in early access. You personally won't be required to have any prior knowledge going into the new game. You'll be able to enjoy it for what it is with fresh eyes and a fresh perspective. However, if you've played the old games and have other general realms knowledge, you'll start to notice some dots connecting. And last from the Gazette, we got our ability score choices explained. In Early Access, the method of getting our ability scores in character creation will be the point buy system. The plan from there is to go in depth about character creation and the options available to us in the next community update. Alright, I haven't checked the Baldurs Gate 3 website in quite a while, so let's see what's changed because I don't see that countdown anymore. So this play button, I'm just going to assume it's the trailers we've seen until now, so I'll leave that alone. Steam and Stadia, we already know about that. This is cool. I love this. These eyes, this is neat. All right, ooh, character creation. This is nice. Astarian vampire spawn. Proud the Knight is a vampire spawn for centuries, serving as sadistic master until a mind flayer parasite freed him from his bonds. Now that he can walk in daylight, the game is on, for only his old master stands in the way of him becoming the greatest vampire the world has ever known. Okay, so aspirations for power. That's pretty spot on. Gale. I love this man already. Wizard Prodigy. Alright, let's see what this says. Gale is a wizard prodigy whose love for a goddess made him attempt a dread feat no mortal should. Ooh. Blighted by the forbidden magic of ancient Netheril, Gale strives to undo the corruption that is overtaking him and win back his goddess's favor before he becomes a destroyer of worlds. Ooh, that changes my theory entirely. Oh man. Okay. Just gonna hang here for a quick moment. Wizard Prodigy. Which goddess do you think? My first thought, just because I'm an Elminster fan with the books and everything, which I still need to finish that series. Well, of course, my first thought is the goddess he fell in love with is Maestra. And Forbidden Magics by Ancient Netheril, just my limited knowledge on the history of Maestra's incarnations. Netheril got a little uppity back in the day with the level of magic they could perform. So some rules got laid down on the world about magical limitations. And people who attempted it would either just flat out not be able to do it, even if they know they're doing it correctly, they would just not work. Or if they found a way to force it to work, Maestra would get a little upset. So, blighted by forbidden magics of ancient Netheril. I'm gonna take a guess that after reading this, it might just be basically he got greedy and pissed off Maestra. That's gonna be my new guess for this one. But I have faith in him. I have faith that his redemption arc, if any, is going to be a good one. He's definitely going to be probably a contender for my favorite of the new companions. All right, Lae'zel, the ferocious warrior. I'm glad Githyanki are finally being introduced into the spotlight, I guess is the way to say it, because I know they were kind of off in their own campaign settings, not really seen all that often across the internet. Especially their old artwork from like the early second edition campaigns, like they've changed a lot. And it was just nice meeting them in the Baldurs Gate 2. Okay, Lae'zel is a ferocious Githyanki warrior, mighty even by the standards of her mind flayer hunting kind. Faced with transforming into the very monster she's sworn to destroy, Lae'zel must prove herself worthy of rejoining her people, if they don't execute her first. Okay, yeah, so this is what I was talking about earlier. Her people, historically, the Githyanki were originally a slave race back when the Lithids kind of were conquering the universe. And then one day they broke free, they started a revolt, they freed their people, and then they made it their sole mission as a race to brutally extinguish every single Illithid they could find. Like, their sole duty in life is to hunt Illithids and kill every single last one of them. So, with her people being overzealous in that fact, it's possible they could just be like, nope, you're infected, I don't care, you're dead, bye-bye. I figured there's going to be a lot of heartbreak for her as a character when we start doing her personal stuff. But I have faith I'll make it through pretty okay. All right, Shadow Hearts. This artwork of her, they had what early on? Like this is one of the first artworks they made for her, I think. I think she just looks so cool in this, like with her. Like, if Shar is going to be as big as I think she is, in terms of the overall plot, I'm going to guess that we're gonna have maybe. Initially, I was thinking a quest to maybe make her turn away from Shar, but I'm also wondering if maybe we're just being converted to Shar by her or something. This is just baseless speculation at this point, but I'm just admiring the art. I got Shar symbol here, the head we've already seen, arm tattoo. She didn't have this in game yet, I don't think. Little helmet. I don't know. I'm just kind of geeking out over this artwork. I think it's so cool. Okay. Cleric, Shadowheart, the Loyal Warrior. A loyal cleric of Shar. Shadowheart is the sole survivor of a holy mission undertaken on the Mistress of the Night's behest. She alone must deliver a relic of immense power to her coven in Baldurs Gate while threatened by a strange new magic that is burgeoning from within. Okay, so strange new magic from within. That's... wait, no, red herring. It could be that this is making us think about the tadpole, which we technically don't know much about it yet. We know it's special. I'm convinced it's not normal tadpoles, but that's an old discussion at this point. She's on a holy mission for Shar, delivering a relic of immense power to her coven? She has her own coven in Baldur's Gate? This might be because I just did that video for the old companions the other week, but this is reminding me of Viconia a little bit in her epilogue, which there are no timestamps for those epilogues, so that could be open-ended. She made her own cult of people for Shar. They did something to betray her, and then in her anger, she pretty much killed the entire cult, and then Shar chastised her for it, but Viconia didn't care. I don't know, this kind of reminds me of that a little bit. Because Baldur's Gate. What relic could that be, though? Thinking about my big theory about the Dead 3 and Shar and everything that might be involved, I'm gonna guess that of the companions, if there is going to be the potential for one of them to turn against us, and we'll have the high emotion quest to convince them otherwise, do what's right, all that jazz, it's not worth it, don't help the bad guy. If there is going to be someone like that as a character, at this point, I'm thinking it might be her. Okay, Will. Ooh! Sorry about that if that was a little loud. I remember seeing this pop up on the internet the other day, but I didn't know where it came from. And now that it's here, well, we haven't really seen much of you lately, have we? Okay. Okay. Will the Warlock, a living legend. I actually don't know anything about him yet. Noble by birth, Will made his name as the heroic Blade of Frontiers. But to become a living legend, he struck a bargain with a devil. A bargain from which he longs to break free before it consumes his soul for good. Okay, that's pretty standard. That's pretty standard. I'll have to look into what Blade of Frontiers means later. Doesn't ring any bells at the moment, though. Living legend. So I guess he made the trade with the devil just for the typical fame and fortune request, which could be considered a common request for this kind of thing. Yeah, I can't think much more on it. I know in general, succubi in D&D, from what I've learned, have a mixed history, so they could be considered devils and demons, depending on that specific person's origins. Because there are Asmodeus descendant succubi who are considered devils, and then there are procreated succubi that come from the abyss. It's kind of confusing, but I don't know. I mean, first impressions, whoever this lady around Will is probably the one he made the deal with. Kind of wish we knew more about him. But still, this is cool. I mean, I really appreciate web design when game companies kind of go all out and make the site itself the art instead of just like a display for art. Okay, what do we got? We got our videos. Of course, everyone's seen these. Announcement. All right, more screen grabs. I think this is from the second demo. Oh, and of course, our abandoned Temple of Saloon. I'm telling you guys, Saloon, Shar, they're going to be big players in the events to come. This is neat. Okay, what else do we got? Community Update 6. This is the one that we're talking about. And then, of course, there's the original video. The Panel from Hell. I thought this is a really cool logo. I was able to pull the original PNG from the site when I was making that. I thought, oh, this is really neat just to make for a single update. I like that kind of commitment for art. Combat and Stealth. That was from August. Yeah. All right, that's the end of the website. Dang, they put a lot of work into this. This is really neat. Ooh. Home. There we go. Let's see what this is real quick. Oh, yep. I was right. All right, guys. That was awesome. And now to wrap things up with a few last minute stuff. I saw some people who were worried about the tiefling, how she looks with her face and her eyes changed a bit. Remember, it is character creation. We're more than likely going to have options. This one might just be the current default for when we're first starting. And remember, camp for us will be a place to chat and reflect with everyone. So be sure to give everyone attention once early access hits. As I mentioned earlier, the Gazette revealed that the next community update will be about character creation and the options accompanying it. And yes, sex will be in the game. That's a fairly obvious thing at this point. And early access has been pushed back to October 6th. As excited as I and all of you are for this game, I have faith in Larian. Waiting longer isn't an issue. All right, and that does it. Thank you everyone who deemed my tiny little channel worthy of watching. If you liked my content, please hit the sub button and venture your way down into the comments so that we can chat about everything that's been happening. Until next time, stay safe out there.